Today's thought deals with one of the most important questions, if not the most important question that every human being will ever have to answer. But before we get there, let me say a couple of things. If you have landed on this channel, you might have noticed that there are a lot of topics. There is a broad range of covering. Yet at the core of everything is one central aim: to look at life's occurrences through spiritual lenses, so that we may be sharpened, we may be challenged as Christian believers. Now, let's get to the question. What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called the Messiah? Matthew 27:22. But let us look at this scripture in the context, as we always should. The Jewish leadership wanted to eliminate Jesus once and for all. Why? Because of his claims to be God, his open criticism of the religious leaders, and perhaps even more threatening of all, the ever-increasing following that he had. Pilate spent time questioning Jesus and concluding that he was innocent, and thus he wanted to release him. But the priests and the elders pressed on for a harsh sentence and also stirred up the crowd against Jesus. And seeing that the crowd would not accept the just ruling, Pilate offered to release one prisoner following the Passover custom. And the choice was between Jesus or Barabbas. And the crowd, incited by the leaders, chose Barabbas. So Pilate then washed his hands and handed Jesus over to be crucified. And now, here is the tension. Pilate found no guilt in Jesus. Pilate's wife also warned him not to condemn him. And Pilate had the authority to release him. And yet, Pilate still asks, what shall I do then with Jesus, who is called the Messiah? Now, why ask the question? Because Pilate was standing at a crossroad between truth and self-preservation. Scripture tells us that the priest threatened him. If you release this man, you're not Caesar's friends. Find that in John. In Romans terms, being a friend of Caesar meant political loyalty to the emperor and also an alignment with Roman authority. So losing that title could cost Pilate his position or maybe even his life. And Pilate knew what was right, but he loved his career, his reputation, and his safety more than he loved truth. He did not hate Jesus. He simply feared losing control and made a cowardly choice. And that question has never stopped echoing through history. Jesus is still asking the human heart today, what will you do with me? Not what do you think about me, nor do you admire my teaching, but what will you do with the identity that I have revealed to the human race? Will you embrace me to the point of changing your own identity? Or will you acknowledge me just like the demons did and show no change in your life? Will you submit to me as king of your current life, or will you continue to be on the throne of your own kingdom? One day, on Judgment Day, everything will come back to that single question. What have you done with Jesus? And the sad reality is that you won't be able to rectify your answer on the spot. So will your answer today be shaped by fear of losing influence, status, comfort, or approval? Or will you acknowledge that Jesus is God incarnate, the one who came to redeem you from sin and from spiritual death? There is no neutral ground, guys. Everyone must decide. What are you doing with Jesus today? Love you guys, and catch you next time. Ciao.